Hello. Hello and goodbye, says Woof. Don't go. Don't go. Definitely stay. And I am invisible. That's not ideal. But hey, oh, I see. Well, come back. Mate, Jonas, Samaya, nice to see you. Nice to see you all. I think, let's just see. What's going on with my my camera? A bit strange. Have you ever seen Raycast's little camera preview? It's pretty cool. But there seems to be an issue with it. This is probably a thing I should have sorted out before starting the stream. Let's try this again. Super weird. This is Nitro V. It looks like I'll be doing my phone camera thing again. That's really peculiar. So yeah, I'm going to be looking at not Nitro version 3, but Nitro version 2 stuff. So let's just swap the camera over and hopefully it will actually work. You're going to want to... Yeah, none of that. Oh, I guess it's from above. That's weird. Okay, I have no idea what that's actually going to do. So sorry, guys. Right, well, I might just pause this for 1 second and come back. Okay. We should be back. Oops. Should be back in 1 second. There we go. Whoa, that's enormous. You're just seeing my entire face. That's no idea why that happened. There we go. Crazy. I'm here, and we're ready to go. So apologies for that. Damien, weird. I think we had an issue with his stream again because... No, it seems to be working fine. Cool. Okay. Right. We are good to go. So what I'm looking to do is, so we have a pending version 2 release of Nitro. So there's lots of fixes and things that we can really release. But we need to check that there's that stuff's working well in ecosystem CI. And in particular, so in other words, whether we are good for Nuxt to release the latest version of Nitro. And the last test, we're actually getting some errors. There's some type errors that are coming from the Vue ecosystem, but there are also some type errors that are coming from pending changes from within Nitro. And I need to basically investigate and fix those. Hey, Martin, nice to see you. Both Martins. Um, by the way, Nitro 3 and Nuxt 4 are not going to release at the same time, just to be clear, because Nitro needs to be released with its breaking changes, and then we need to not just work on Nuxt, but also make sure the ecosystem is ready for that change. So we are definitely depending on it, though. Hey, nice to see you, Telescope. Okay, we're going to rerun. We're going to run an ecosystem test. And just see how we're doing it. So we're going to want to test the 3.x branch, not against the released Nitro, but actually version 2 nightly of Nitro, and just run this workflow. Now, this is an incredibly useful thing, by the way, to be able to do, because it means that we can be very granular about testing things and making sure that everything is still working after sort of sets of changes everywhere. So like all of these Nitro changes, for example, and including some features, new presets and so on. And we just want to make sure that stuff is in fact working fine. Let's see how much there is. There's a lot. Like since the last release. Is that really? When was the last release? It might not be actually recorded as a separate commit. We had June 27th. And our last, yeah, so it's a fair set of changes and features. I'm really going back to here. This Netlify change, a few typos, fixes, and then some error handling, some issues with pre-rendering. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff there that would be nice to release. Let's see what we can do. So we're running our ecosystem CI test, and last time I did this, this failed in a number of places with Nitro. So let's see. I think this is the last one, and this will give us a guide to what we need to fix. So image, for example, isn't failing on a normal test, but it is failing here with some type issues. So let's see if I can reproduce that. So I'm going to go into our ecosystem CI test locally, our repo, and we can actually just directly run the test. So I'm going to run it against branch 3.x, and we're going to run the image test. And this is basically going to clone nuxt, check out the 3.x branch, build it, and then with those built packages, test it against the nuxt image module. And if I then do further testing, I don't need to rebuild. I can use another command called run suites. This is all open source, by the way. If you ever want to check out, we have this repo, this nuxt ecosystem CI repo, that basically contains all the code for running all of this. And it's a direct fork from the Vite ecosystem CI, which Dominic and others created and have been improving. And we basically use exactly the same approach to test our own code in the Nuxt world. So where are we? Yeah, great. So we've got a test failure. Oh no, we have a test failure, but for a different reason. What am I looking for? Image. There we go. Let's try that again. Now I'm not going to run the test. I'm going to do run suites. Cool. Great. I think this might be something to do with the, yeah, it's probably the docs rather than Oh no, it was an IPX type issue, I think. This terminal is Ghost TTY. So this. It is a in development terminal being developed by actually the guy behind HashiCorp, Mitchell Hashimoto, if you don't know. And it's a cool, lovely little terminal. So yeah, check it out. You can get early access by joining the Discord and providing feedback and all of that. Bruno, nice to see you. And I think our ecosystem CI is a bit slow. Q, nice to see you too. Our ecosystem CI is a little bit slow because there are other actions running from nuxt, for example. Okay, so we're all good with our latest. Nikki, nice to see you. With our latest commits to those. I do have some pull requests that I can hopefully start merging in. What's wrong here? Ooh, that's not good. Okay, that's probably a view fix. View change. I'm gonna have to look into that in a moment. Right, this passed. I am shocked. Okay, so maybe this is already resolved then, because this was giving me an issue with FS and IPX runtime config. Maybe that's been resolved in Nitro since then, but I don't think so. Let's see, do we have any other reproducible issues? Okay, there's a type check issue on nuxt.com. Yeah, I heard about Laravel raising 57 million. That is quite a round. Okay, we also have this. This is a normal issue on nuxt.com. So let's see if I can resolve that. By the way, this is a very normal thing that I end up having to do before releases, is basically check through. Most often these kind of failures don't come from Nuxt itself, but when they do happen, it's often an indication that we need to resolve something. And would Nuxt ever go that direction of raising 57 million? Or so I think that no, I don't think so. But for me, it's really important that the funding structure of a framework, like how it's supported, which is, you know, community contributions and sponsorships from companies that, you know, make money using Nuxt, is aligned with the benefits is aligned with the needs of users. So the moment you have a conflict of interest, then you start having problems. And it's really important for me that that never happens with Nuxt. Fourth coffee. Exactly. Yes. That is what it is, isn't it? Okay, no, we don't want to upgrade everything. Let's just upgrade Nuxt. So I'm using Antfu's Taze CLI tool, which is just incredible. Let's just already check that there's not a pull request already open to do exactly this. There is okay, let's just see what the issue is with Nuxt framework. And all other dependencies. Why is this failing? Same reason. Oh, it's a lint failure. That's almost certainly, no, it's a lint failure from a type check. Well, that's good. So this is coming from the view upgrade, almost certainly. And so if we can solve it here, then that will probably solve it in our test as well. You want a picture of the cat? Can you see her on the bed? I'm not going to pick her up because she's sleeping, I think. But I'll show you her in a second. Okay, so let's dedupe to a good first test for Jan. Nice to see you. It's a good first test for type issues, because often they're caused by having multiple versions of, say, Vue installed at the same time. We have some other dependency upgrades, but this is really the 3.4 to 3.5 upgrade and the Vue TSC upgrade. That's also probably causing this issue as well. So lint is our first task, which doesn't work. And so that's basically running nuxt prepare and then pnpm test. Well, you know, obviously going into new and right, type check. What did we, oh goodness, like there's lots of stuff here. And I think, so that's ESBuild, lots of ESBuild stuff. Human signals. More ESBuild. Okay, there were also some Nuxt UI Pro. There were Webpack sources. Okay. None of this is striking. What I'm looking at is to see whether is there anything I need to pin. But I'm not seeing that. Okay, so we're seeing some type errors. And it's basically coming from places like this. This is probably, by the way, a Vue bug with the Bobby, nice to see you. These kinds of things are total pains. Right. Hello, nice to see you. Right. So the first thing I want to check is whether there is a newer version of, this is so weird. Joaquin. By the way, here's another IDE bug. And so this file is not being processed with Volar at the moment. It's the first time it's been opened, so you have to reload the window. And now Volar should kick in and show us the issue. So it's saying ID exists. That's fine. So Martin, ideally you should put the dependencies in the layer if the layer is what's using them. Now there have been some issues where that doesn't work as you might expect in a Nuxt project, and that's something we need to solve. But I would expect, like, you should be able to put the dependencies in the layer, right? Yeah, that's what I would feel is the correct thing. I think this is not so much a Volar. So like basically some of the issues at the moment, it's complex because Vue is being updated and Volar is also being updated. And so there are some of these problems. Let's see, is there anything else I can be updating at the same time? And I also want to see basically any like Vue language tools, Vue TSC. I need to have the latest TypeScript version maybe? Let's just see any of these. So this Nuxt update. don't know if that'll make a difference. Let's try it. Okay. Still the same issue with, I think, the same files. But there's also this one, actually. There's another one. And all of this is like links should exist, right? This is like this is just a Volar bug, right? I don't think this is a. But I mean, let's check, right? So there might be some kind of other reason, like something. So we don't use nuxt generate. You can use nuxt build and specify some routes to pre-render, and that you can use ISR there. Why would this not exist? If I just said string. Okay, it doesn't exist. So we have type logo stats meta symbol. Okay, so where's logo coming from? Logo stats meta symbol. Okay, I'm going to move define props up to the top. It hasn't made a difference. So links is still not being resolved. And hey, nice to see you, Gugustinet. This is just a Volar bug, right? Okay, let's see if we can identify it, like if there's already an issue tracking this. Okay. View language tools. Ah, this must be it. Okay, it's define model and define props somehow conflicting. Do we already have a define model here? No. Okay, also we should probably see if, yeah, already fixed. You say that, but what is the latest release? 2.1.6. That is the one we have in this particular project. We have 2.1.6. So why are we getting this issue? And can I reproduce this right on its own? So let's give that a try. Stack Blitz. Right, so here is our component, app header. And let's just see how minimal we can make it. First in this project, and then we can see if we can reproduce that same thing elsewhere. So we have our app header, and we have, say, a div. Oh, and let's just test that I have my latest version of Vue language support. It seems so. So I have 2.1.6. Just reload the window to confirm this. Okay, so we're not picking up links. I'm going to drop bits out. Unmounted, all of this stuff, all of this stuff. Still doesn't exist. If I say type link is string, still doesn't exist. Okay, so this is currently reproducing in a very, very minimal way in my project. Let's just confirm, is this still the case? Yes. Seems a problem, right? Okay, let's see if we can reproduce it here. So we have this, and I'm going to have to install Vue.tsc and TypeScript. Things like this will probably work in the reproduction. It's like it's a way of trying to figure out where the issue really lies, right? So yes, this is a pain, right? This is not great. But we have to figure out what's causing it. Okay. This is fine, right? So that worked fine. So there's no issue here in this minimal nuxt project, which means there's something else going on the nuxt.com website that makes this fail. So we can try and identify what that thing is. So we're running, if I just run Vue.tsc no emit, let's see what happens. Could be coming from any one of these other things, right? Some other module, some other thing in the project. There's stuff that pollutes this, which is why, you know, things are still. So the first thing probably to try is to remove like UI, or in fact, maybe all of the modules. Well, actually, everything is not working now. Let's see. Presumably because there's all kinds of things that are not. Well, that's good. Like you would expect these. You would expect type errors. Okay, what can we actually get rid of? Let's just run that one more time, just in case nuxt repair made a difference. Yeah, it didn't make a difference. Okay, so let's see what the issues could be. But this time I'm going to start from the .nuxt folder. Why? Wonder if getting rid of nuxt UI would still work. Like would that still let my project compile or be checked in other ways? And actually, I want to know only if there's an issue with the header. Okay, so there's still an issue with the header. Okay, let's see what I can delete that might make this work. So I'm going to delete all the other components and all of the pages, because none of this should actually be required in order to type check it. I just want to check there's no leakage coming from something else, some problem. Okay, we're still getting some issues with Nuxt UI Pro. Where is that coming from? Is that because okay, so where's UI Pro? Ah, let's try that one more time. Okay, we still have the issue. So let's see, it might be, now the thing is at the moment, right, in our project, we almost have nothing. We have composables and content. Okay, I can delete both of those. And then there's basically no other code in the project. So if we have got any issues, they are coming from a module and not our project. So let's see what it could be. This is good. So these issues are coming in. I find that extremely positive in terms of our chasing down what the issue might be. So let's start removing some modules. Okay. Those are probably will make no difference at all. Try it. Okay. Let's actually start by, I know that we've had an issue with plugin types in the past. Let's just see what our app injections are. That seems fine. And we're augmenting view. But let's remove it. Let's see if that makes a difference for app header. No, it doesn't. So it's not coming from our plugins. That's good. Let's just proceed with removing some more. So none of these should actually be required for our type check. So I would expect removing all of these will solve it, and then we will bisect it. So yeah, I'm assuming that this is going to throw some errors with nuxt config now, because there's configuration for modules that aren't enabled. Whoa, it's still giving us an error on app header. That's really strange. Still giving us an error. Okay. Like this is actually really useful, I guess, because why is this the case? So we have literally at this point we have our tailwind config, ESLint config, our app config. Delete those. Like our project at this point, I'll delete the nuxt folder. We might as well do that in the output folder. Let's just check that it wasn't related to that in any way. Oh yeah, we don't have content either. And also do a 2/ or ESLint, and that should be fine. Still have this issue. Okay, so this is probably, in this case, it can't be a module because we don't have any actual module here. In fact, let's just replace this with an empty nuxt config. Ooh, no, it worked. Okay, so it's something in the nuxt config. Good. Like, I want to find the bug, right? So it might be that TypeScript issue. But let's just pop all of that out. Good. Let's pull that out and all of that. Great. Let's enable strict mode. That's it. That's so weird. So, okay, this is saying now if you don't have strict enabled in TypeScript, the types don't work properly. So let's see if we can then reproduce that now with our nuxt data, now that we know what the issue is. Okay, so that is not enough. Is that really not enough? Oh, I have to prepare it to update the generated tsconfig. Yes. Okay, people. We have a bug that we can now reproduce in Volar, I think, pretty satisfyingly. So let's just open the issue. View 3.5.3. Oh. And TypeScript is 5.5.4. And when setting strict false in tsconfig, the generated type for the following type error is generated. But I mean, the good news is also that we have a solution, right? Just turn on strict mode, which you should be doing anyway. And using define props. Let's just see if this is actually the case if we don't make it optional. So if we make it required, so it's optional props. With an optional property, there are type checking errors when the prop is used in the template. set strict false in TypeScript compiler options and use a component like this. This is fun, right? It's fun to like figure out what the issue, and the issue is the optionality of the prop. We can probably also simplify it by just saying string. Let's just confirm that there's no issue with like great. Cool. Okay, so we have a okay, we have that. Now let's undo all of our deleting of everything in this project, because we now know the problem, right? So the problem is nothing to do with anything here, really. What was our last change? We deduped the lock file. So let's undo that, discard all of that, and then go into nuxt config and set strict mode. So just actually remove that, and let's see if we can actually type check the project now. Yeah, exactly. It's the super minimal Nuxt website. Like it doesn't get any more minimal than that, right? Okay, so there's the reason there's loads of bad stuff in this project. Ugh. We would have to fix, right? Like we're just using, we want strict mode. Okay, so we want strict mode, but we probably also can do some other things. tsconfig, we'll say no compiler options, no implicit any, false, no unchecked index access, false. Basically, like I can't resolve the entire issues with the entire code base. So to do, enable these and fix code. You have to write strict code from the beginning, right? The problem is when you are doing it enables. Okay, we've reduced it down to 4 files. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, so it is actually one of those specific things, not just the strict mode. Okay, I think maybe we can't. We just have to link to this and say this is currently breaking our update. So therefore, in our upgrade, we just probably need to revert the tsconfig update. So let's just go back into our package.json and look for 2.1.6, and we're going to revert that back to 2.0.29. And we're going to pin it. It might not be, it might be a view bug, actually, looking at it now. Let's see if it could be a view bug. Okay, so we have our component here, and we need to, do we get types? No, it's working fine there. I'm still not, it might actually be a view issue because we've reverted the update now to, or it could be a TypeScript issue. So let's also revert the TypeScript update if that is the, if there's a possibility that that could be at 2.0.29, and we'll revert view to 3.4.38, I guess. That is very kind of you to say. I'm not sure how much fun this really is, but the yes, it would satisfy that constraint, which is why I've also added it in the resolutions here to pin it to the specific version. But I don't know, it's possible that maybe the UTSC depends on something else. I think it only depends on TypeScript. So see if reverting the view version fixes it, and this is a view issue instead. It does. So we just now have one issue in nuxt scripts, which also needs to be addressed. Let's revert that to 0.6.5. And let's see if we can then update ViewTSC. And if we can update ViewTSC with no issues, it's a view bug, right? So we are still carrying on our debugging solution. Aha! So it seems like, let's update that. Yeah, we do. I hate it. I hate it. There's a number of situations around types where minor updates really have been totally breaking in terms of API, and that's a pain. I'm sorry. I do sometimes done that with nuxt as well. So I'm sorry. I don't like it. Okay, so it's the view update. So yeah, I'll have to rename where I put the issue. Great. Let's push those up for now and be able to merge the rest of the changes to the dependencies to isolate the issue. Update this seems to be a view stemming from an update in view rather than the Volar 2.1. In this case, I think it's view. But let's see if we can reproduce with pure view without Volar. That would be the ideal way to tell that that's the problem. So we want to see if we can reproduce it in pure view. So let's see if we can basically pull this out into, say, an app.ts. And we're going to do, oh, but define props. Anyway, we can do export default define component. And then we're going to say props. It's probably not going to work, right? Because it probably relies on the define props macro. But we can say links. We'll just say a string as array. And then it's going to be hard to get current instance vm dot link props. I think it's very difficult to test Volar. And that's, I think, something we do need to see how we can help Johnson. Okay, so we have VM, yeah, that's great. VM props, no. Okay, let's maybe use a render function. So that's very specific. Oh, no, I mean, setup, it should be taking the props anyway from, well, setup should be taking the props here. And I guess, of course, we'll have access, right, to them there. So that's going to fail, which is right. We want it to fail. Links are typed. I would also expect, oh no, get current instance is never going to return the inferred props types here. But let's see, maybe render might give us a thing. So we want to get the context, and we should then be able to have, what do we have? Context. Oh no. We should be able to get something out of there, right? This may not be possible really to reproduce this in like without Volar. So maybe it is still the right thing to do, to open it there. Anyway, let's carry on with Nuxt ecosystem testing. I'm going to very quickly grab another cup of tea and I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. I will be back in a second. Hey, prisoners, I'm literally about to go get a cup of tea and then carry on with doing some debugging in the Vue and Nuxt ecosystems. So don't go anywhere. Okay, I am back. Welcome. What has happened? What have folks said? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I think we have an opportunity to make this better, right? So, and I think it will. Cool. There is a solution. Ah, great. So I can close in favor. This is wonderful. We already have a solution. Great. This is so good. Pineapple on pizza. Like, how is that even a debate? Right. So we know what the issue is. There's a bug and there's a solution. So this is great. Okay. We should be able to update the dependencies of nuxt.com. And then it will be a little bit more difficult when we are updating to nuxt 3.13.1 because it has the view update, which basically means you're pulled into the new new bug. Right. Okay. Well, what else is failing? So we have UI. Why is UI failing? Probably the same reason. No, I think this is caused actually by a fix where we now infer the type of options, and that's probably why the issue is occurring. I'll check that out in a second. Docus. We have an error running the pre-render and cannot access storage before initialization. Okay, that does seem to be a nitro bug that we should investigate. What do I think of implicit reactivity on destructured props? I am not a fan of, like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. Hey, Esteban! Good to see you. You're doing incredible things, by the way. Everyone check out Esteban's starters. And I'm really interested in what you're building with the new Nuxt Hub template. It looks incredible. Hey, Rigora. We are basically trying to resolve some issues in the ecosystem CI for the latest nitro patch. So this is an issue here, I think. It seems like this is probably something we can investigate. So that's Docus. We have an OG image failure as well, which is probably similar. This is a path matching issue. And just trying to investigate and see where the issues are. So the latest, let's see the main version and then compare it with because some of these might be failing anyway. So everything here is passing except elk, nuxt.com, and UI. And the nuxt.com and UI are both about types. So there's a lot of things failing then with the only change here is nitro. And there are some things failing. Interesting. Why is Histoire failing? We'll have to investigate that further. Then we also have test utils. Yeah, we'll need to fix that. Okay. Cool. So we're just waiting then on this to be deployed, and because nuxt.com takes a long time to pre-render all the pages. We have I think some improvements we can do on that. Okay, so let's look at the test utils issue. I think this is probably a simple fix. Okay, ecosystem CI, and let's run the test utils test. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to PragView. Anyone who's around, definitely come. Okay. Excellent. Okay, we're looking for the, this is basically how some of these dependencies are resolved. And we're now resolving them through, they are, the keyboard is here. Okay, great. So this is basically how we're importing view. Specifically, it's the vtest import conditions. So, so basically, okay, let's solve it first. In workspace, test utils. So we have our config, and in here we are returning our vt config, and I think we need to basically change the conditions. Interesting. Okay. We'll do that again in a second as well. Yep, those are the ones. I really like this keyboard. Like it has a really, its one is really heavy. So like you feel this thing is solid. And it, what is it? PNPM test examples. Yeah. Hey, Praz. It's not a huge keyboard, and you can get sort of smaller versions of it, but okay, that failed actually in the same way. What is app vtest full? So basically the change here, let's just check. The change here is that we now have a conditions, resolved conditions for nuxt. So we're specifically saying that if env mode isn't test, then we're going to manipulate these conditions. So why? And then we have our deep import plugin, which is resolving these with import and require. Okay, let's see what is going on. So we want to see what the so strange. Okay, let's just log them and see what they are. Oh, we need a plugin, I guess, to do that. So resolved config plugins. Oh, let's first see if we can reproduce this, by the way, without having to build it each time. Oh, wait a second. This is failing in the case, oh, wait a second, what's this? It didn't fail the first assignment. So we do happy DOM, JS DOM, and then dev mode. That's why it's failing. So I mean, as in that's probably the one that is failing. Probably because our test dev is that we run it. Do I need to prepare the project maybe? Utsav, I think you can get early access, as I did, but join the Discord server and basically engage there, and then they can give you early access. Okay, we are going to very quickly set some compatibility dates. I don't think so. I actually have a project where I am getting it working in nuxt. The only issue is suspense, I think, which we rely on quite a lot. And at the moment, I think it's not really focused on SSR. Is another thing. Okay, so vtest config needs to be imported from vtest node. Let's see. Yeah, view is already very fast. Okay, so let's see what. Why can't I kill that? Right. Oh, we have to, I think, stop it better, maybe? Or maybe we do have to build it. Okay. But it will be because the mode is dev and not test. So yeah. Okay, let's try that one more time. So this time we're going to resolved config plugins push, or maybe we just add this new plugin from Nuxt to our excluded list. Yeah, okay. Fix config exclude new nuxt import conditions plugin. Cool. Great. And we can get rid of all of this. Get reset. And now we can test it back in our ecosystem CI. Or actually, we can probably just rerun the test here. Let's rerun that. And I think we need to look at Dockers because that might actually be a genuine issue with the Nuxt, with the Nitro update. And that's not happening in the normal main branch. So let's take a look at that while we're waiting for the test utils to rerun. Okay, so run suites Dockers. And yeah, there's a pre-rendering issue. I do think we also need to improve the logging of pre-render errors, because at the moment you can sometimes not tell why something didn't fail or didn't work. And it's coming from here, where we have use storage. Well, that's weird. I wonder where it's coming from then. It'll be a dependency, I guess. Okay, that worked fine, actually. Hmm. Oh, why is this not pinning? Oh, it's working fine because we're not running on the nightly version of Docker. Okay, right. So we need to set our nitro pack version. Nitro version is v2 nightly. Okay, that will make a difference. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. She needs to be petted. Okay, petting. One moment of petting is complete. Right, and hopefully we have a result for our ecosystem CI test. Yes, cat priority. That is definitely the case. She hears that and she wants now for there to be more cuddles. The weather today, like, it's cold. It's 13 degrees. It's feeling like this is going to be, I'm hoping we're going to get a bit warmer weather than this. But we'll see. Come on. What are you doing? Yeah, I know she has a really, like, I think often cats do, like, the meow sort of is targeted almost at being, sounding like a baby. Okay, test utils has passed. Good. Let's see if we can reproduce the Dockers issue. Yes, good. And let's see if we can reproduce it here. Ah, for goodness sake. It's all I can do to type. She is typing the keyboard. Right. If there was just some kind of way I could, like, have you on a sling so you couldn't get to the keyboard, but you could still cuddle, that would be ideal. Okay, so our pre-rendering, where is it happening? Happening a bit higher up. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Okay, so it's coming in from here. Use storage is yeah, definitely. She is a very sweet cat, very, very friendly, and very affectionate, obviously. She wants her cuddles. Okay, let's see if I can, what is the actual test suite we're running? It is just generate. Okay. Yeah, 4 seasons a day, that's the way. It's a bit sunny out there at the moment, but it was raining earlier. Okay, cool. So prefix storage, use storage. It's coming from, that's probably nuxt content. And the issue, I guess, is that use storage. Okay, this is weird. It's just being called before it's being called before it's defined, right? So we have there. Okay, that's line 23.756. Okay, so this is definitely something we can look at. So content source, I guess, is that coming from Dockers? Yeah, no. It's coming from probably nuxt content. So this makes me wonder if this is actually going to be an issue with nuxt content. But for some reason, that seems to be passing. She is very vocal. She is. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we have nuxt content. Where's it coming from? Okay, it's probably coming from here. That. And use storage is being imported. Okay, we'll try one thing with this. Okay, so what might have changed in Nitro? Sorry about that. You can tell your dog she's she would run away. Your dog would be fine. That's the key message to communicate. What's this? Oh, right, that was an actual bug I have to look at. What is the? Okay, great. This can squash and merge. Oh, I should have actually checked the website. It is a thing I forget to do. Just make sure it actually does load, does display correctly. And let's then have a look at this one. This will probably reproduce the same issue unless we pin the view version. Yes. What are you doing? Oh, that's a... Don't eat it. Right. So I can't actually do it. Okay, what am I trying to do? I am losing the train of my thought because of the cat. Definitely going to blame the cat. Okay, so right, we're at Dockers. It's the content code, and I needed to find out what might have changed in Nitro that would have caused this. And so this is maybe, it will be something to do with storage, possibly. As in where we are. Copy that. Okay. So, well, my question is why is this changed? And it might not actually change. It might just be because it sometimes, like the fact that it has a nightly suffix in the node module's path is enough to create different behavior. Because sometimes people are looking specifically for NitroPack as a package name. In this case, it's very difficult to know what this could be caused by. Let's just see. We released I'm just going to do maybe like a diff, tag-based diff. So let's see the commits that have occurred between 2.9.7 and the current v2 branch. So anything to do with storage. No. I'm going to have to put you down again. That is true. I think, yeah, when people get a cat, they really find out. Okay, this is probably not going to, oh, it is. It's probably not going to succeed. We think it will have the same issue with view. It's so weird. I'm assuming it must be NitroPack versus NitroPack Nightly. That's the only thing I can think of. So it doesn't seem that there's a... I think, okay, I'm gonna try one thing. I'm going to try basically the annoying thing is just how Nitro's repo is set up. It's difficult for me to find this, but I'm going to pull out this release and what is the tag? This, and let's find the nightly version that corresponds to it, because I wonder if we'll get the same issue with Dockers with this. So if I can find that 46B5A, oh, so it's probably it'll be 2.9.7. What? Oh, nuxt nightly. This should be NitroPack nightly. Yeah, it might be 10. And we're looking for weird. Why? So this should be the 27th of June. And presumably, yeah, okay, EBAB. That's 6 months ago. Yeah, that's not right. 6. I guess. It should, 46B5. Oh, but it probably won't be in the list because we're looking for the next one. So the next one would be 518. No? Oh yeah, 518. That, okay. This is the version we want. So basically we should have, this should work. So because this is a version which we know works. So if it fails, then it is about the fact that it's an edge release rather than the fact of the code in the project. Oh, so we're getting the same issue. So it is probably a nitro. It's probably not a real bug, therefore. So I think we can probably... It's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky. Maybe it's not the cat balance that, like maybe it's something like the having to be responsible for the cat or having to look after the cat rather than that she might not love the cat. Maybe it stops, reduces your freedom or something like that. It's also possible. Let's just have a look at the. Let's just have a look at Docus. Where is the actual repo? It's nuxt themes Docus. So this. Let's see if we have any other issues with updates. Lock file maintenance seems to be fine. Dependency upgrades also seem to be fine, which all suggests that this is a nitro. Maybe something to do with how rollup is behaving. Okay, OG image. We'll start that in the background while we're doing this. Yes, yes, you really should. Please do. That would be amazing. Okay, so yeah, I love the view transition API. So good. Right. So where are we actually? Okay, this cannot be merged. Thank goodness. So this is Docker's update, and just to check, what is it running? It's running build. So I suspect that's not going to make any difference for our testing. But we could try, just in case. Right, OG image has failed as we expected, and we're having an issue with. Let's open it. Okay, our test is build and test. Okay, so if we're running test, okay, there's a pre-render error. In here, so the basic fixture, let's just see if we can run it. Nuxt generate test fixtures basic. Okay, good. So we are getting some errors, and the error is internal server error. Let's also, while we're at it, make these errors better, right? Because honestly, internal server error, in the case of nuxt pre-rendering, we want to know why. And I've done this for myself before, but I think we actually should make this in core. So I think we basically need to do something like I think we can track the full nuxt error. And I think we can probably handle this in nuxt. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to do a quick change in here, and we are going to set some nitro options. Do I have nitro in here? We do. Yeah. So we're going to say fail an error false, and then we're going to add our own hook, which is pre-render done. And we're going to get in the a context object of pre-rendered routes and failed routes. And then we're going to do something with that. So we're going to basically say this. That's the current code. That's what it's doing. And so we'll just do console log. And we'll say if failed route size greater than 0. That's weird. That's very interesting. That suggests that we have a type issue. Okay, so let's open up nitro. We have pre-rendered routes. We're calling it as, okay, so no, that is fine. It is in fact an array. Oh, it's failed root. Failed roots should be an array. Ah, I see. Yeah, we're calling it with a different thing. So yeah, okay. So okay, that's fine. Error pre-rendering, and then we'll do some custom logging, and then we throw the error. Okay. So that should fail as well, but now we can actually handle the failed roots differently. Yeah, cool. So we have our failed roots, and we want to basically do something like track the roots. So actually, let's do this in a nuxt module. And so we're going to track them. We'll have a function. And we will we'll basically want to register a hook on nitro init. So then we have access to nitro, and we can register the nitro hooks that we want. So we have nitro hook pre-render root, and then we're also going to have the pre-render done hook. And we are going to have access to our context and do exactly what we just did below. So we're going to grab the pre-render roots and failed roots, and then we are going to just log our little error. But we're going to want a little bit more access. So we're going to hook into pre-render root. Now nitro calls pre-render root, and it also calls pre-render generate. And pre-render generate is called earlier on and allows us to do things like manipulate the error, decide whether or not to skip the root being saved, and so on. So yes, Julian, nice to see you. So what I'm doing is trying to solve some issues in ecosystem CI, and along the way, I wanted to debug like why OG image is failing, probably due to a nitro upgrade. But it's very hard to debug pre-render errors, and this is something we can improve in Nuxt, I think, solidly. So we here have access to the root and nitro as well. So we're going to basically track these errors. So we're going to do something like errors, and we are going to say, well, just an array, I guess. And so this is something that I'm going to use for debugging here, and then hopefully make a PR to Nuxt to improve things like centrally. So if root error, then errors root dot root is root error, something like that. And we should then be able to log it. Let's see. Like what I want to do is be able to, because we have more context for Nuxt, and I think we should be able to extract it. So not just the rendered error that you might have, but I think we should be able to get something that is like very specific to the Nuxt error. So for example, let's see what we could do. Do we have access to the error cause? And I think we should be able to get access to the stack trace or something like that. Error dot message. think we'll have to do this maybe in nuxt somehow. So as in we need to access to the renderer. So we have node modules, we have nuxt, and we have our renderer. And in here, okay, let's do this. We actually have an error path. So let's do this in our error handler instead. So we have our error handler here, and we basically create our error object. And yeah, I would love to improve that, Mate. So we have like our error object, which is very useful. So let's do something like this. Do we have use storage here? We're going to create a storage instance, which is only relevant for errors. And so we're going to do, where are we importing use storage from? Just internal nitro. We're going to call it pre-render errors. Okay. And we are basically just going to cache this. So if import meta pre-render error cache set event path error object, right? And this would be easier to do actually in the nuxt repo rather than purely in node modules. But let's see. How could we pull this out? So in nuxt, we have our internal nuxt pre-render caches, and we actually do set it. So this is, I think we should be able, like, we might be able to get this out, like into the OG image, like into our module. So we have internal nuxt pre-render errors. Let's see if we can just grab that out here. So say log await nitro storage get all list keys, get keys. What did I call it? There. Let's try that. Just see if it does anything for us. Oh, interesting. This is the other issue that we had with Dockers. The idea that storage is getting hoisted up. Let's see if that's an issue that people have reported to Nitro specifically before. Because I've certainly seen it. Okay. The issue is that use storage Okay, so we have create storage. Now this is being done in Nitro, so let's just have we'll try and solve both. So we are creating storage in a virtual file where we create this. And we have this code. And use storage is being exported from internal storage, but presumably the code is like, this is an ordering problem, right? This is running at the wrong time. So is there a way I can affect the ordering of this? Because use storage is fine where it's inserted, but it's referring to something which hasn't been initialized yet. So what you effectively need to do is make sure that maybe this is the problem. How should use storage be imported? Internal storage. Maybe it's how we're the main reason right now is that a lot of Nuxt modules use Dockers for their docs, even though it is unmaintained, but they use it, which means we do need to resolve, like, to keep it working, as long as that's the case, until we give people a better option. If anyone wants to maintain it, let me know. I mean, it's not actually a Nuxt project, it's a Nuxt Labs project, but I'm sure Sebastian would be happy to get someone if it's something you want to maintain, or if it's something you're using. Okay, I think it's this refactor that probably caused it. So I bet there was a change where we refactored maybe the types. But anyway, let's see if I can change the storage virtual plugin. I think we have to import this early. So I think we basically need to do something like, I'm just going to like patch it. So I think we basically need to say in our renderer to just import it like this. See if we can. That's not good enough. It needs to be earlier. Our runtime and say our okay. That's just got us, I think, carrying on. We have to resolve that separately. Okay, so we're getting some stuff here. Um, great. Is that right? No. So that's not getting me the storage that I need. Is that even correct? Let's see. So we have our error here. And effectively what I want to do is say, I have my error cache, oops, which is, let's close you for now. And I should define it, and I think I've defined it up here. I'll use set item. Maybe. So this should happen. Or maybe we never get to rendering nuxt. I might be around in a bit. Yeah, would be good to see you later, Q. Oh, the possible changes on nuxt. Possible changes on nuxt. That's a bit weird. Seems the Algora chat is out of date again. We're not getting all the chat. I'll pull in restream instead. Okay, so is this being set at all? Why are we getting no keys? Internal nuxt pre-render errors. Okay, I guess this is just not running, right? Error object, yeah, it's just not running. So we're having an issue. I guess this should be the thing that handles the response. Thank you, Chinggis. That's very kind. I can't take full responsibility for that, though. Well, that's interesting. Okay, I mean that should get me something. So in nuxt I have internal nuxt pre-render, and it's configured up to be this cache directory. I might need to, but it's only the pre-render cache. That's what it is. That's the issue. So I need to basically somehow mount that. This is probably an easy solution. I'm trying to do a like a quick and dirty thing. So I might just have to import unstorage. This is just a file system. I mean create storage, I think. And import from unstorage drivers fslite. And basically I'm just gonna have to probably create my own storage very quickly. Storage equals create storage, and I'm going to pass it some options, which are base is going to be that, and oh right, we have this cache driver. Oh, that's fine though. This can just be a normal fslite driver. Okay, so we have storage, and we're just going to try this instead. What? So we're generating that. So we should have test fixtures basic. We should have nuxt and cache nitro. Yeah, so there are arrows which are being saved, and there it should be. Oh, it doesn't give us any more details. Okay, we can look at that in a second. Okay, so what am I wanting to do? So one, I want to get these keys. And so I don't know why it's not. Oh, because I didn't set a base. So we just want to say, yeah, we have to. Right, we have to set the. Like this. Storage mount internal nuxt pre-render, and then fs driver, and then our options. There we go. That should be a bit better. Right, let's try that again. Yep. So those are our keys. Now we want the errors, and that's going to give us 2 of them, and we should then be able, presumably, to iterate over them. So should be arrows. Oh, I see. It's the way it's connected. So what we want to do is instead, so we want to set like, well, I guess. That's a bit interesting. I think this might have to do with how the cache driver is set up, actually. Yeah, we have this normalize fs key. Leo, nice to see you. Going well, thanks. Right, we need to normalize that. This is a pain. I'm sorry. This is definitely getting trapped into some stuff we probably shouldn't be doing. But right, what we actually want this. Thank you, Nilesh. And we have this normalize fs key. And we don't care about LRU. We're just forcing the key to be normalized. Let's see if that gives us better results. Maybe not. Okay, I'm just going to make this a little bit better. We're going to call this whatever, that. Please work. No. It's because it's making it one thing, so which is intentional. Hey, Aussie boy, nice to see you. The bigger issue is that none of these files actually have any more information, and I think this is because of the fact that it is a server component. That's what I'm worried about. So let's see if we can make that a bit better. So if we pop into nuxt and we grab our core components, not that, what is it going to be? Components, runtime, server component, .js, and if we have an error, no. What's giving us, maybe Nuxt Island. And here we have an error. And the error is happening in fetch component. Let's just log it. see if that is the error that we're talking about. Debugging an issue with a pre-render error, and I want to see if it's possible to get better, more useful data for that. And fetch component. I bet this is why. Okay, so we have fetch component. I guess that's not the thing that's throwing. What's the thing that's throwing? So we have okay, let's log our actual errors that we're getting. So we're going to log failed routes instead. And here we have the root. And the problem is none of this is the runtime context. This is all the build time context. And what we really want is to be able to show people the runtime context. So we're running this. We're pre-rendering it. Let's set concurrency anyway. And so we're fetching the data, we're getting back an error. So and we need to basically debug where the error is happening. So we have nuxt island. Let's open up nuxt root, and we're going to. So where is the error happening? Maybe here. Seems not. Let's open our renderer and see if it could be happening there. Hey, welcome. Okay, great. So this is coming in. Let's just see. So we're getting an island, a server error. Great. So we are around at this point. So we are rendering an island, and we have this point presumably is not going to happen. As in, no, we do. We have an island context. Oh no, but not for obviously the ones that are failed. No, we do. Cool. So there is an error, but it's not happened yet. Okay, so what might be, so let's catch this bit. So say okay, so that's not hit. So okay, so how far did we get? We're rendering, ooh, interesting, yeah, of course. Let's say event.path. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so we do have this request that's coming in, and it's from the Satori image. So it is hitting our nuxt error endpoint. So we have some info. Okay, well, let's say here we are trying to log our object, but that's not happening. So let's just see. Okay, so that is happening. We are logging. We do have this error object at this point. So why is the error object not being logged? Huh. That's very strange. Okay. So basically, we are getting very useful information there from the actual error object. We have a message and we have a status message, but for some reason that's not being captured right? Or now it's giving better information. Weird. Let's try this. No, it's just coming now as internal server error. When I log that though, I wonder if some of this is because we have getters for these things. No, it's still internal server error. Okay. I thought it was maybe a better solution here, but I think that was just a fluke. So we have an error object. We have our response. Ideally, good question, Joaquin. So I think, I mean, it is going to be a ping, but I think this is the file name before nitro infers the correct file name. So what it is going to do is look at the response type and see that, oh, this is binary data. So it shouldn't be an HTML file. And if we, I think, hooked into pre-render root, we would see the correct info. Okay. The question, I guess, is where is this being thrown? Or maybe we want the stack. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We want the stack. That's the thing that will actually help us solve this, right? So we're going to say, we're not actually going to do this. I think we can set this up so we can see it in when pre-rendering, but not have it included in the actual generated HTML. So we should have stack trace. That's no use. Oh. Yeah, lots of useful information in the actual error. Failed to create screenshot page for load state. Image source must be an absolute URL. Okay, so there's really useful stuff here. So why isn't any of that getting into the... I think it must be a problem with the normalize error function. Or maybe not, maybe it's because it's production. Okay, in latest nuxt, we've brought, I think, normalize error into nuxt. No, we still import it from nitro. Oh no, this is 3.x. Okay, so this is what we use. Let's just use that instead. Okay, so we're going to pull out normalize error from nitro utils and stick it down here at the bottom. And let's see if that makes any difference for us. Nerexius, nice to see you. Oops, I have some TypeScript. Okay, is that any better? No, don't think so. Get rid of you. And basically what we want for normalized error is to be much more specific. So when we're pre-rendering, we can actually get the stack trace and log it without embedding it in the HTML, right? So that's what we want. So our hide details okay. I think we can keep on using normalized error from nitro and instead use rx to capture the stack trace and do this. If import meta pre-render, sorry Martin, I'll go in a few minutes. We're going to capture the stack trace like this. Parse stack trace. Okay, so what I'm hoping is this going to give me some better stack traces. So we're not looking at that, we're looking at this. That's actually not what we want. No, it's actually not stack trace that we want, right? So we want, what was the nitro normalized thing? What we want is the error stack. We just want the error stack. We want on the whole thing. And the normalized error, interestingly, yeah, I think I'm somewhere. I think I'm somewhere on this. Right, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I think this is what we need to do. I need to switch to nuxt and actually start coding this there. So we have our main, and I just need to set this up in the playground so we can have something. So we'll have a server root, doesn't really matter, but we'll have a server root and it's going to throw an error. And so we are going to say throw create error. We'll actually just throw a normal error. So problem doing something. And we want to be able to see this. Now, if we pre-render that, we'll add API test here. Pre-render roots is going to be API test. Let's just confirm that's the case. Oops. Okay. So we'll have an error, and it's just coming in as 500 internal server error. But we want to know what this is like when we're building. Just like for us logging, there was an error. We don't know what it was, and we need to be able to handle that. So we are therefore in our error handler here going to say that if it's handled, return, and if I import meta pre-render, then we're going to display some other stuff. Function normalize pre-render. This may be the better thing. So the thing is, we're going to log. We do some console log, and this should always be have more information. So what we want is not to log the error object message, but we actually want to log the actual underlying message. That would be an immediate improvement. So if we did this, then that's going to look a little different. We're going to get a more accurate error. Here. Beautiful. Yeah, that's much better immediately. Okay. Is there anything else where we hide things? Okay. Import meta pre-render, and no, those are the tags, and stack. Right. Hello, Flo. I think this says that we actually should keep the stack as is. So I think we're fine to do that. Let's see. I don't think the stack will make it into the actual error object because that's only if we are in dev mode, but we'll still get it printed out. So in this case, what we should have happen is now we get good stack trace. Well, so half of the changes don't need to be implemented by nuxt, they're just implemented by a view. What do you have in mind, Flo? What are some of the examples? Let's just try Rx and see what that does for us. Lazy hydration, yes, we do plan to implement that. We already have an open PR, actually, that's been around for quite a bit longer than we have got, is it an object? No, it's an array, right? And it's got function source. We use Rx somewhere. And so let's just see what it looks like. Parsed trace. We'll try this. Okay, I think this is already. I think this is basically actually all we need to do. I don't think we need to actually do any more. So logging is the point of this. So I think we can actually just use the stack that we have, like this, and basically say down here that we are going to produce the stack only if it's not pre-rendering. So we're getting the stack in pre-render, and then we are anyway only adding it there. So I think this is good for me. What, did we add anything? Yes. Good. This all seems good. Okay, let's just try it one more time. Cool. Hello, Reaper. Nice to see you. Okay, fix pre-render errors. Fix nuxt log more content of pre-rendering errors. The only thing is that like the content of these errors is just to the console. It's not even going to be accessible to a module, but I think it's a good first step because it's totally non-breaking and it should just be adoptable. Now, if we do that in the OG image, it's going to show, okay, let's just explain this. And then I have another call, so I'm going to have to jump off. Previously, we were swallowing most content pre-rendering errors as just as we would in production. This PR does a couple of things. One, it prints out the stack trace and of errors when pre-rendering. Two, it prints out the full error message on the console when pre-rendering and in production, as opposed to the sanitized internal server error, which is a bit cryptic. Cool. Okay, this is better. And I think having done that, it also needs to be ported back to v3, which will be a little bit more complicated, but I think that's good enough. And cool. And now our OG image tells us that the image source must be an absolute URL, which is presumably a Satori upgrade issue and not anything to do with Nitro. But it doesn't seem to have changed. So let's just undo all of the changes we've been making in here. Cool, and in here. And now let's update that we probably want to be doing what we're doing in here, which is printing out the full info. And the normalize error stack. Probably doesn't make sense to change that anyway. So let's just try one more time. We should now get the correct errors coming out. We won't get the stack trace, but that's just, we're just doing this to generate. So yeah, that's good. Cool. Okay. I'll have to investigate the actual issue with OG image a little bit in a moment, but it's probably a nitro change somehow. Difficult to know exactly, but we'll have to look into that. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. It's been a real pleasure. And yeah, I'll be doing a bit of streaming later. I have an exciting one planned for later this week, so I'll let you know about that. And yeah, that's until another time. Let me see if there's any other streamer at the moment that's going on. And go away, please. Who else is streaming right now? Tej. Should we join Tej? Oops. What? Come on. Okay, let's do it and see you all later. Bye.